She told her daughter in an email that it wasn't a video, it was a terrorist attack. How do we know she lied? They had emails between the Egyptian consulate and our State Department, which she ran, who said it was a terrorist attack. Will she apologize to those families for that lie? Ladies and gentlemen, this election is about choices. This election, and I wish I could tell you otherwise, is very clear and distinct in our choices about our children and our children's future. Look, it's not about me, and for most of the people in this room, it's not even about you. It's about our kids and grandkids. And when it comes down to judges who are going to make decisions that are literally going to shape the future for all of these young people, who do you want appointing Supreme Court justices? Do you want somebody who, when asked that question in the last debate, spends a lot of time talking about a whole lot of irrelevant things, but never mentions the Constitution? Or do you want somebody who has pledged to appoint free market, conservative, constitutional judges? Ladies and gentlemen, I get asked this question a lot by the media. Maybe somebody has read it, about why I support Donald Trump. Let me tell you, I support Donald Trump because, as I've said, Hillary Clinton is dangerous for our kids and our grandkids' future. Let me give you one example, and it's an example that I've used with young people all over the country. I usually try and find a young person that's about the same age as my kids. I've got a 9-year-old daughter and an 11-year-old son. And I see a young man out here that's just about that age. What's your favorite restaurant, young man? Where's your favorite restaurant? All right, now here's the way this works. All of us adults, we're all gonna go there for lunch or dinner tonight later. We want you to go home and get your piggy bank. We want you to come up there and meet us when we've done eating and had a good meal, and we want you to pay. Don't get us wrong, you don't get to eat. What do you think of that? I'm not going to translate that answer. I'll use the answer I normally get. That's not fair. You know what? If an 11-year-old gets it that that's not fair, why the heck is it that the adults keep adding more and more debt for him to pay? It's a $20 trillion debt. And if he gets it, it's not fair for us all to go out to eat and give him the dinner? Bill, why do we keep doing it? Well, that's because we got people like Hillary Clinton that thinks it's okay to spend and spend and spend. And you know what the response is? Just tax them more. Just tax them more. More taxes don't answer the problem. The thing that answers the problem is responsibility. Responsibility. Now, I'm going to leave you with this last comment. When you leave here tonight, you're going to hear the pundits and the talking heads and the people say, this race is over. It doesn't matter. You and I both know that's not true, right? And you know why that's not true? Because this is a movement. This isn't about us. It's about our kids and grandkids. And so you're going to go out and do us a favor. And this favor is very important. You're going to make sure you go out and vote. And you're going to make sure you call your friends and your neighbors and their friends and neighbors and your kids and grandkids. And you're going to remind them. You're going to remind them that this election is about choices. From the top of the ticket, from the White House to the courthouse, and every office in between. And why do I say that? Because Donald Trump's going to need a Congress and state legislators that are going to continue to work for conservative, less tax, less regulation, and good government. And I'm pleased to have colleagues from this area that believe in that thing, like Joe Eaker and Bill Coley, Bill Seitz, and my other Senate colleagues and the House of Representative members like Mr. Deaver, who all hail from this area, who fight for lower taxes, less government, more independence, and more freedom. Let's talk about this. Because your actions by voting and encouraging people to vote will make a difference. You see the other side? They've all been about tearing people down. Our party, all of you, are about building up for the future. That's the difference. And so when Hillary Clinton continues to throw the kitchen sink, the faucets, the soap, and everything else at Donald Trump, I'm amazed that she's not willing to talk about the issues. Well, maybe I shouldn't be that amazed. Because every time she talks about the issues, her numbers go down and Donald Trump's numbers go up. You know why? We're right. We're on the side of truth, justice, and the American way. That's why when you vote and encourage people to vote from the top of the ticket all the way down, you're going to make a difference for your country and your country's future. Don't forget that, because some people think you're not going to vote. Some people think you're going to show up and not vote down the ticket, and you're going to leave Donald Trump with an empty victory. Ladies and gentlemen, I have confidence. I have confidence in Ohio. My name is Keith Faber. I'm happy to represent Ohioans in the state Senate. I look forward for you going out and voting in this election. God bless you, God bless Ohio, and God bless.
All right, Cincinnati. You think Donald Trump is the candidate of law and order? You think Donald Trump is going to make our streets safer and our communities safer and our country safer? Who better to talk about that than our classic legendary Butler County Sheriff, Sheriff Richard K. Jones?
I've never seen so many deplorables in my life. I'm a very shy individual, so bear with me. First of all, I want to thank all the law enforcement that's in this crowd. All of them that's outside. All of them that protect all of us in the entire country. Not like what Hillary Clinton thinks of law enforcement. Not what President Obama thinks about law enforcement. When you see shootings Police officers run towards shootings. They don't run away. What better person to have as our next President of the United States than Donald Trump? He actually likes law enforcement. Let me hear you. Trump, 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 Trump. Get it going. He speaks for us. He speaks for you. How many women do I see in this crowd? If you listen to the news media, there's none. No women support Trump. That's not true. Don't believe what the news media tells you. It's very important, this election. If you don't believe it, all you have to do is turn the television on, and when you see these other small rogue nations shooting missiles at our military, and what do? We dodge them. We don't shoot back. We're afraid to. Our leader has led us to an embarrassing state in our life. You talk to the soldiers, you talk to the military, you talk to them. You see what they got to do. We've all had family members in the military. We've got military people here with us tonight. We want to, we have the toughest military in the world. We've been sitting on our hands for 8 years. Mr. Trump's going to bring us back to where we're going to be respected again. It won't be Putin. It won't be the guy from China. It won't be the guy from North Korea. They're going to be afraid of him. That's not a bad thing. I want my president, and so do you, to be respected in the world, not made fun of, not be weak. We're the strongest, most prosperous nation in the world. Do you know why that is? It's because of everybody here tonight. Your vote counts. When you've got soldiers, you've got Navy SEALs, you've got generals, you've got admirals supporting Mr. Trump to be our president, there's a reason for that. Let me hear it. Trump, 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 Trump. My job is to feed you raw meat tonight. Am I doing okay? I can't hear you. Am I doing okay? One individual can make a difference for this country, and you're going to hear him speak tonight. Don't believe what the pundits say when you watch these things on television and they tell you we're deplorables, we're terrible people. These are working people. These are people that made this country what it is. Your fathers, your mothers, your brothers. We make this country great again. Is that a great slogan or what? I've been to the border. Don't believe what they tell you. Mr. Trump's been to the border. It's not good. They're coming across the border. We need what? We need that wall. Let me hear you. The wall, the wall, the wall, the wall. Who's going to pay for the wall? Who's going to pay for the wall? They can hear you outside, the protesters can. Mr. Trump's going to keep our Second Amendment right, which is what we want. If Hillary Clinton has her way, none of us will be armed. We won't be able to buy bullets. We won't be able to have any of that. Our kids' kids. This election is so important to us. We've got to stand up. You got to be strong. One person can make a difference. When I went to the borders, I had protesters at my facility. They referred to me as a racist and a bigot. The protesters had on their shirts, racist and bigot. They were spelled wrong. I sent them out with Sharpies so they could get the correct spelling, so the news media could see them. So who looked the most foolish? They asked me, the news media, would they be arrested? I said they came to the right place. And they were arrested. And I got sued. I spend time in court. That doesn't surprise you. I could be quiet and be idle, and I could be the sheriff as long as I wanted. I can't do that. I want to get up and look in the mirror every day and say I've done everything that I can to support Mr. Trump to be the next president of the United States. You are responsible for this election. You've got to get people to the polls. You've got to get your adult kids, your cousins. You've got to drive people to the polls. We got to prove these polls and these pundits and these people that say we can't do it, we've got to prove them wrong. It's our country. We're going to take it back. We're going to take it back from the establishment. USA, get up! If Mitch McConnell called down and wanted to endorse me for sheriff, I would refuse it. If Ryan called me, the Speaker of the House, and wanted to endorse me, I would refuse it. It would actually hurt me. And I'll tell you what, we've laid back and we've let these people run our country, the establishment, and what they've done is they've run it into the ground, and we just can't take any more. I see young people in this crowd. Let's hear it. You will inherit the future. We've got to get out. We've got to do our part. We've got to get to the polls. When you see this, Benghazi, you see these, where Hillary Clinton lied to these people, lied to the mothers and the fathers. She was there at 3 in the morning, wasn't she? Talking to her big donors. That's what she was doing. She wasn't there doing her job. If you want higher taxes, vote for her. If you want lower taxes, vote for Donald Trump. Trump, 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 Trump. Let him hear us in the back. I don't want him to get the hook and take me off the stage. Like I said, I'm kind of shy. I don't say what I think. But you can be one sheriff and you can make a difference. We deport people every day, and we should. My ancestors came from other countries. We learned the language. We learned the Constitution. We prospered. It's the greatest country in the world to live. We don't need to allow people to come into our country and teach them how to fly planes and fly into our buildings and destroy our country. And we need to stand up and say they're terrorists. If you come in, we will vet you. But you have to go through a process. You can't just come in here and take our jobs and take our country. Mr. Trump will create jobs. He's a businessman. He makes money. That's not a bad thing. That's how our country makes it. He will lower the taxes. Hillary will raise the taxes. Hillary doesn't like the police. Donald Trump likes the police. Donald Trump wants to build our military up. She wants to tear our military down. Let me hear that. Lock her up. Lock her up. She should have been charged and she should have been indicted. She was not. The fix was in, like they're trying to fix this election and steal it away from us. All of us. We cannot let that happen. Can we let that happen? Can we let that happen? This is again the greatest country in the world and we can make a difference. When you see law enforcement, tell them how much you appreciate them. Let's give them a round of applause. USA, USA. I sent a letter to the President of Mexico and billed him over $1 million for bringing his prisoners and his drugs into my county. What do you think happened? I got a letter from my government that said I wasn't allowed to talk to presidents and leaders of foreign countries. But they'll let Rodham go over there and talk to that basketball player and go over and talk to that guy in Korea or in China, and that's his best friend, and it's okay. So what do you think I done? I sent another letter to the President of Mexico. He still owes me over $1 million. But you've got to stand up. That doesn't make you anything other than a great American. You stand up and you fight for this great country. And you're going to see when this election is over, we're going to fool all the people that are against Mr. Trump. These establishment Republicans, we're going to show them, aren't we? They're out hiding under rocks and other things because they're afraid to be here tonight. They're afraid to be with us, the people that hire them. We are their boss. You are their boss. Again, it's a vote, and it's a vote. We have to have Mr. Trump as our president. We don't have a choice. This country doesn't have time. We have to make the difference up. You have to go door to door. You have to make phone calls. You have to talk to your friends. And if you know any Democrats, tell them don't vote that day. You would appreciate it. Now, I'll catch heck for saying that, but I'm okay with that. Again, the greatest country in the world to live. When I went to the border, I seen him coming across the border. We actually had one stop our car and was looking for a sandwich. We helped him out. He was arrested and deported. It's okay to come to this country legally and come in like everybody does. Our legal system allows 1.4 million to come in every year. They come the right way. This country was made that way. Don't sneak across this border and go to our hospitals, get free medical care, better medical care than what the veterans of this country get. Let me hear that boo. My father would roll over in his grave. The medical care that these people get, and our poor veterans have to wait in line. Obama appoints these people to run the VA, and all they do is they rip us off. They make these veterans wait in line, and they let these illegals come in and get the best medical care they can get. Hillary is going to have open borders. Don't kid yourself. She has said it. She's going to allow these people to come in from all these countries that are terrorists and fighting us and trying to destroy our way of life. They don't like us. Don't come here if you don't like it. We can come here and assemble, and it's okay. We will not get arrested for saying what we think yet. But don't never kid yourself. These Supreme Court justices will destroy our world as we know it, the United States. If she, Hillary, gets to appoint these people to the Supreme Court, it will affect your grandkids and the grandkids and the great-grandkids if she appoints these people. And believe me, that's her goal. She's got them lined up. And let me ask you this. Do you want Bill Clinton back in the White House? Who does? When she comes into the White House, Bill comes with her. He comes with her. You look at Donald Trump's family, I've met them. What a family. What class people. It's all of us. The Supreme Court is more important than you realize. You will not, we're being able to keep our Second Amendment alive by probably one vote. That will be gone. She doesn't like the weapons. She doesn't like you to be armed in your home. And that's just the least of what we got to worry about. Her cabinet member appointments, her cabinet appointments will shock you. And you wait. Before President Obama leaves, he's going to pardon more people. He's already pardoned more people out of prison than have ever been appointed with all the presidents combined together. Is that something that you want? Do you want these criminals back on the street? Law and order, Mr. Trump says. Law and order. I will end with that note. I love being here. I love being part of this movement. God bless this great country. And thank you all. And my daughter who's married to a policeman over here. Thank you.
How about it for Sheriff Richard K. Jones? Ladies and gentlemen, we're almost there. I know you don't want to hear from me anymore. One final plea for me. I look around this room. I want to see all of you finding your local Trump office. Find the Trump office in your community, wherever it might be. Wherever you're from today, find the Trump office. Go to Donald Trump's website and sign up and help us. This army can deliver Ohio. We need you. We'll be hearing from our special guest very soon. In the meantime, I'm Alex Triantafilou. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
I see you walking down the street. She's all by herself. I try and knock off her feet, but she'll never break, never break, never break, never break this heart of stone. Oh no, no, this heart of stone. What's different about her? I don't really know. No matter how I try, I just can't make her cry. she'll never break, never break, never break, never break this heart of stone. Oh no, 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 this heart of stone. Don't keep on looking that same old way. If you try acting sad, you'll only make me glad. Better listen, little girl, you're going walking down the street. I ain't got no love, I ain't the kind of meat. 'Cause she'll never break, never break, never break, never break this heart of stone. Oh no, no, you'll never break this heart of stone, gone. No, no, this heart of stone. You'll never break it, darling. You won't break this heart of stone. Oh no, no, no. You better go. You better go home. Good shot. You'll never break this heart of stone. You better drive on home.
change the face. I can't write another day. I got lots of bleeding in my hand. Oh, cannot stop. I can just with another man. I was playing rock and roll. You jumped on the sand. Like you know who roll you. With the man. Lot of bleeding in my hand. I wanna get those changes all up the scar on you. Like all those burning rooms on fire, you will not pass through. You're a blue bird on a dark fire, but you're happy now. The wind that change coming down your way, you make it back somehow. I love the light bleeding in my head. It's another man. I was playing rock and roll. You were jumped on the bank like you thought you were on it. I'm just a man. Like bleeding in my hand.
Do the music first. Start the music.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome America's Mayor, Rudy Giuliani.
Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today. I want to be a part of it. New York, New York. These vagabond shoes are longing to stray.
Wow! Well, I don't think I have to do very much to convince you to vote for Donald Trump for president, right? It's going to be a pretty easy job. So I'd like to make a few points that maybe aren't being given the emphasis that they should be given, because if you think there's been fair coverage for this election, you're living on Mars. So what we see day after day now, starting with the first group of emails from all of the Clinton people, is everything we always knew about Hillary Clinton is true. They used to think
They used to think there was a vast right-wing conspiracy against them, that all of us were kind of making it up. But you know what these emails say? We were always right in the first place. Boy, are they slimy. Wow. Ooh. How about a person in public office has to have a private position and a public position? That means really simply, I say one thing to you and then I go backstage and I say something different. Like you're paying me a lot of money, like $250,000, and I say something like, we should have open borders, open trade, and ultimately we should be a country kind of like part of an international United Nations. So I say that backstage to the people paying me $250,000, and then I have a debate with Donald Trump, and I say, I'm not for open borders, I want secure borders, and I want an America that maintains its sovereignty, and that, you know what you call that? Where I come from Brooklyn. I'm going to tell you what you call that. You call that, you are a liar. I'll give you another one. When you get a subpoena from the United States Congress for your emails, when you get a subpoena, I used to issue subpoenas when I was U.S. Attorney, or I would get courts to do it. When you get a subpoena from Congress that says, give us your emails, and you go ahead and you delete, remove, bleach 33,000 emails. When you have 13 cell phones, and you have someone working for you smash them with a camera, smash them with a hammer. And when you take the rest of them and they've disappeared in some river somewhere, if they're in the East River, I may be able to find them. You know what you call that? You call that a crime. You know how fast you and I would go to jail for that? Boom. Right to jail. We go right to jail. You remember? Wait. I got your point. You remember that old game Monopoly, straight to jail? When you destroy 33,000 emails under congressional subpoena, you get a straight to jail card. Right to jail. When she says things like, she's no longer comfortable being part of the middle class. Maybe that's at the heart of those comments that she made, that half of Trump's supporters, I don't even want to repeat it. What are we? The deplorables. Half. I don't know, maybe that half is deplorable. The rest of you are not very good either. You're part of the middle class, which she's above. She and Bill are no longer in the middle class because they went from nothing when they left the White House to being worth $250 million. And you know how they did it? By selling out the office of Secretary of State. That's how they did it. $1.5 million fees in order for her to go to Switzerland and intervene on behalf of UBS. When they say there's no quid pro quo, these are people that don't know the law. These are people that have never prosecuted cases. These are people that have never investigated cases. I've done over 5,000 of them. I can smell a crime. I can prove a crime. I know a crime. When you get a $1.5 million speaking fee and your wife goes to Geneva and asks the Internal Revenue Service to go easy on UBS, that is a bribe. And it is a disgrace. It is a disgrace. It is a disgrace. It's a disgrace that that isn't the main headline and all of the coverage by this corrupt media. It's a disgrace. They should be ashamed of themselves. How about the fact that as Secretary of State, she approved 20% of our uranium being sold to Russia. And she wants to talk about Putin, and she sold 20% of our uranium to Russia, or she approved that sale. And the Clintons made hundreds of thousands in speaking fees off it. $130 million in contributions off it. And their donors made hundreds of millions of dollars selling out the United States of America. I could prove that case to any jury, anywhere, in front of 12 honest Americans, African American, Hispanic, Native American, any decent, just person. You let me put those facts in front of them, and she will be found guilty. It's an outrage. We have a chance to make a change. We have a chance to make a big change. We have a chance to elect a man who can bring jobs back to Ohio and jobs back to Michigan. A man who isn't owned by the lobbyists. He's owned by himself, and he is doing this for you. He is doing this to restore government for you, the people, and away from the crooks. Send them there to clean out Washington, and the one person that can do that, the one person with the independence to do it, the one person who has the strength and courage to put up with this insanity from the media, the insanity in the way in which they cover him, the one person, because he believes in you, he believes in what America is all about, honesty, decency, fair play. That's Donald Trump. He's going to be out here in a few minutes. And you, Ohio, are going to make him President of the United States. Thank you.
I want you back again. I want your love again. I know you find it hard to reason with me, but this time it's different. Darling, you're saying you gotta tell me you're coming back to me. You gotta tell me you're coming back to me. You gotta tell me you're coming back to me. You gotta tell me you're coming back to me. You said we're through before you walked out on me. Before I tried to tell you, but you didn't want to know. This time you're different, and determined to go. You gotta tell me you're coming back to me. You gotta tell me you're coming back to me. You gotta tell me you're coming back to me. Yeah, tell me you're coming back to me.
Detroit down to Houston and New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say, got a proud
Ladies and gentlemen,
I worked in Cincinnati, and I love Cincinnati. That I can tell you. Love it. Very, very special place to me. Thank you, everybody. Wow, what a turnout this is. This is big stuff. And a poll just came out. Wall Street Journal, NBC, we're leading Ohio by 1 or 2 points, but we're going to win Ohio. We are going to win Ohio. Thank you, everybody. I gave a speech earlier today on the lies, corruption, and false accusations of the crooked Hillary Clinton campaign and the mainstream media, which they control and use quite viciously. They want to distract us from WikiLeaks. It's been amazing what's coming out on WikiLeaks. They want to keep us from talking about the issues. We will not let that happen. We're going to talk about the real issues, which is jobs and illegal immigration and our depleted military and taking care of our vets. And our Second Amendment and our Supreme Court judges. And the repeal and replacement of Obamacare. Don't forget that. Which is a disaster. Every day between now and the election, we're going to talk about our plans to make America great again. In 26 days, we're going to defeat the corrupt establishment, and we are going to save the United States of America. We are going to save the United States. And we are going to show the whole entire beautiful world how much we love our country. It's going to be, again, America first. It's been a long time. America first. $21,000 people tonight. Can you believe it? 21,000. And you got 7,000 people outside trying to get in, but they're not going to make it, I guess. We're going to renegotiate our absolutely terrible trade deals, reduce surging crime, cut taxes and regulation, lift the restrictions on American energy, end Common Core, reduce the cost of college, make child care more affordable, and repeal and replace that horrible thing, the so-called Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, which is not affordable at all. And the governor of Minnesota just minutes ago announced that the Affordable Care Act is not affordable. And Bill Clinton admitted the other day that it's a crazy system. And I've been saying this for years, and Bill Clinton suffered last week. He made that statement, and he actually told the truth. He had a rough evening, I want to tell you that. I've been talking about how it's not going to work before it was even passed. And it was passed, if you remember, it was passed with a big lie, 28 times. Keep your plan, keep your doctor, over and over and over. And we have a real mess on our hands where the cost is going up 72%, 78%. Next year it'll be over 100%. It's a disaster. We've got to repeal it, replace it. It's no good. Our president is incompetent. Believe me, he's incompetent.
And every time I see him lately, he's campaigning for crooked Hillary. He shouldn't be campaigning. He ought to be working on the border. He ought to be working on illegal immigration. He ought to be working on bringing our jobs back from Mexico and all of these places that have taken our jobs. He is a disaster. Very importantly, we're going to get our economy growing again and growing fast. My economic agenda can be sent, and you know this, and I think you've heard this. We want an agenda that really is represented by what three words? Go ahead. Jobs, 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 and people aren't going to take our jobs, and countries are no longer going to be taking our jobs. There will be consequences. There will be a price to pay. And one of the hardest hit has been the state of Ohio. Manufacturing jobs, your steel jobs, your miners are going to be protected. Your miners are going back to work, that I can tell you. This election is a simple choice. It's a choice between putting our faith in failed politicians, and she is a failed politician. Look at what she's done. Everything she touches, I'm going to be very nice, turns bad. See? I've learned. Or putting our faith in you, the American people, which is what we're going to do. This is a great movement that we've created together. A movement like has never been seen in this country. A movement like they've never, ever seen in this country. Never, ever seen anything like this. And on November 8th, we're all going out to vote. And we're going to have a tremendous victory. I think far greater than some people are even predicting. Because we're tired of corruption and we're tired of incompetence, and that's what you get. Nobody wants 4 more years of Obama, and with Hillary Clinton, it'll even be worse. The Hillary Clinton documents, released by WikiLeaks just a little while ago, make it more clear than ever just how much is at stake on November 8th. The corruption of the Clintons knows no limits, and we've known that for a long time. Today, WikiLeaks released new emails from early 2015 from Clinton campaign staffers discussing how friendly Hillary was with Attorney General Loretta Lynch. Oh, I'm shocked to hear that. This was only months prior to the investigation of her illegal server and the email server that gave foreign governments access to our confidential information. Think of this. This comes on the heels of the disclosure of the Clinton, and you saw this disclosure, the Clinton campaign was colluding with the State Department over the release of her emails, and revelations that the Clinton campaign was colluding with Obama's Department of Justice over the investigation into Hillary's secret server. There has never been anything like what's happening in our country. We've never had a thing like this before, and it's a disgrace. And they ought to be ashamed of themselves. And like I took Hillary and told Hillary the other day at the debate, which we did win quite easily, I will say. Look, she's highly overrated, believe me. You know, she couldn't pass her bar exam in Washington, D.C. Couldn't pass it. She failed. She's an overrated person. How about during the debate? I'm standing there at my lectern, not moving, and she walks in front of me. Right? She walks in front of me. And she answers the question. Then she walks right back, right in front of me. And the next day I read in the newspapers that I invaded her space. Do you believe this? Me. But we have another debate coming up, and we'll do the same thing to her. Yesterday, new disclosures were made showing again how Hillary Clinton's pay-for-play works. In 2010, Saudi Arabia was looking to buy arms from the United States. In order to get the approval, Clinton's State Department had to sign off, and they couldn't get it. So what happened? What did Saudi Arabia do? They paid Bill Clinton a fortune to do a speech. Later that year, Clinton's State Department signed off on arms deals between the United States and Saudi Arabia. Shocking, shocking. Hillary bleached and deleted 33,000 emails after, not before. Before would be bad. After is criminal. It's criminal. After a congressional subpoena, then made 13 iPhones disappear, some with a hammer. Has anybody used a hammer on their iPhone? He did. What business are you in? Huh? I don't want to ask. I don't want to know. She did that to cover up her crimes. The WikiLeaks documents show how the media conspires and collaborates with Clinton campaign, including giving the questions and answers to Hillary Clinton before a debate. I don't get them. I want them. I'm angry at the Republicans. They don't get me the answers and the questions. The documents show how the DNC honestly betrayed Bernie Sanders. Poor Bernie, he sold out. If he wouldn't have sold out to the devil, he would have gone down in political history as quite an important man. But he sold out, and his people are not happy. And now with all of these emails that they're finding and all of these documents, it's not a pretty picture for Bernie. Looks bad, looks bad. They really did rig the system on Bernie Sanders, I'll tell you. They rigged the system. The documents also show the Clinton campaign says she has no core. She has no message. What are we going to do? She's got no message. I have a message. You know what the message is? Make America great again. It's a good message, and that's what we're doing this for. I didn't need this, folks, believe me. I built a great company, was having a lot of fun. This isn't fun. You know, many of the people, although I must say, it sort of is fun, but many of the people in this room were making more money 18 years ago than they are now, and they're working harder now, and in many cases, you have 2 jobs. So you're working harder, you're older, and you're making less. But I'm older, and I'm working harder also, so I don't feel bad for anybody in the room. We're all in the same boat. But it's going to pay off because we're going to turn our country around. We're going to turn our country around. What Hillary is instead is the hundreds of millions of dollars she raised from Wall Street special interests. In fact, the emails show Hillary has a private position for Wall Street and a public position, a fraud for the voters. She says this to Wall Street, she says this to the voters. The emails also reveal how the Clintons ripped off the wonderful people of Haiti, doling out favors for their friends and special interests. So true. Americans have had it with the years and decades of Clinton corruption. And I will tell you what happened with the Attorney General of the United States. Her airplane in Arizona when he was going to be playing golf. Very hot. I don't think he was going to be playing golf. Just happened to meet her. Happened to be on the tarmac, said, oh, gee, let's say hello. Stayed for 39 minutes and talked about golf and his grandchildren. He didn't talk about golf, and he didn't talk about his grandchildren, unless it was a minute or two. I would think he probably talked about appointing her as the Attorney General if Hillary wins this election. And you're not allowed to do that. And they were very embarrassed, and they thought it would be something where they could sneak on and sneak off. You know, I've had a plane for a long time. I've never had anybody stop it, get on, come off. On the tarmac, doesn't happen. And then you have the director of the FBI and some of the greatest people in the world. Some of the greatest people of, really, in our country. Some of the great people are in the FBI. And based on what I read and see and hear, they are so angry at what took place, where they caught her cold. She is a corrupt person. She should not be allowed to run for the presidency. She's a corrupt person. She should be locked up. She should. And if I win, I am going to ask my Attorney General to appoint a special prosecutor to look into her crimes, because what she did is a disgrace to the United States of America. And we're also going to look into the investigation. In other words, we're going to investigate the investigation, because what happened is a disgrace. Other people, their lives have been destroyed for doing so much less. And everybody knows it. You know, when you delete something, or when you don't provide the documents requested, after you get a subpoena from the United States Congress, that's a criminal act. That alone, forget about all of the other things which are even worse in many ways. But that alone is a criminal act. And now, as you heard last week, 2 boxes of information and emails are missing as of last week. What are we doing, folks? What are we doing? What are we living with? What are we living with? This will finally be the year where the American people can say enough is enough. The Clintons are the past, but we are all going to be together a very bright future. The new emails also show members of the Clinton team viciously attacking Catholics and evangelicals. True. It's just the latest evidence of the hatred that the Clinton campaign has for faithful people in our country, faithful Americans. Hillary Clinton thinks you're deplorable and irredeemable. And irredeemable might be worse. Means you can't help yourself. I call you hardworking American patriots, and together we are going to save our country. We're the smartest, we're the best. We're going to unify our country. These emails also reveal that Clinton believes in global governance and unlimited immigration into our country. Speaking in secret to a foreign bank, Hillary Clinton said, "My dream is a hemispheric common market." There go your jobs, the rest of your jobs. With open trade and open borders, okay? She didn't want to hear that. She didn't want that to get out. Behind closed doors, when she thought no one was listening, she pledged to dissolve the borders of the United States of America. That's what's happening, folks. That's what's happening. We are going to have strong borders. We are going to have a great wall. And who is going to pay for that wall? 100%. They don't know it yet, but that doesn't matter. No, the Mexico's fine. I was there 2 months ago. I met with the president of Mexico, very good person. And you know what? We're going to have a great relationship with Mexico. But right now, their leaders are too smart for our leaders. We have massive trade deficits with Mexico. They beat us at the border. They beat us with trade. We have massive trade deficits with China. They make our product and other countries. We don't make things anymore, essentially. But we're going to start making things again. We're going to start making things again. We're going to make them in Ohio, believe me. We're going to make them in Ohio. Hillary wants to end forever the American independence that our soldiers fought and died for to keep and protect us. Either we win this election or we lose our country, and that's what's happening. That's your choice. It's as simple as that. A Trump administration will secure and defend our borders. Hillary is so radical on immigration as Secretary of State, she refused to make foreign countries take back their criminal aliens. I don't know if you know what's gone on. They would catch a murderer. They would catch a drug lord. They would catch some bad people, top gang members. They'd bring them back into their countries. The countries would say very intelligently, "We don't want them." So we'd bring them back. She would put no pressure on those countries. We bring them back, and in many cases, we just put them right back on our streets where they wreaked havoc. Wreaked havoc. I will get them over there, and they're not coming back. I promise you that. I promise. Promise you that. One such killer who was set free on Hillary's watch went on to kill a young American girl named Casey Chadwick. The killer, who had already been convicted for shooting a girl in the head, should have been sent home and should have never been here in the first place. Instead, he was set free, went on a rampage, and murdered Casey. Hillary Clinton should be ashamed. She should be ashamed. She also wants to increase Syrian refugees coming into our country by 550%. This, even though She admitted in private, according to WikiLeaks just the other day, that she knows terrorists are trying to infiltrate the refugee program, which they absolutely are. Hillary's support for open borders with the Middle East will give us the same problems as France. All you have to do is look on, see what's happening with Germany and so many other countries, with the multi-generational terrorism embedded in our communities all over the world and all over our country. So let me state this as clearly and as nicely as I can. I am going to keep radical Islamic terrorists the hell out of our country. At the same time, we're going to completely rebuild our very depleted military. That includes building a state-of-the-art missile defense system, which we need. It's time. When it comes to keeping America safe, I believe in three very important words, and we don't have it now. It's called peace through strength. But to be a strong country, we must also be a rich country. Sounds crass, but we got to be a rich country. Right now, we're a poor country. We're a debtor nation. At the center of our economic revival, we'll be fixing our terrible, horrible, incompetently negotiated trade deals. In our country, 47 million Americans are in poverty, and 45 million Americans are on food stamps. Amazing, right? In this day and age. This is the legacy of President Obama and Hillary Clinton. No state has been hurt worse by our trade deals than the state of Ohio. I'm going to bring back your jobs. You're going to have big expansion of your existing companies, and no more companies are going to leave the state of Ohio without there being serious economic consequence for that company. The state of Ohio has lost 1 in 3 manufacturing jobs since NAFTA, signed by Bill Clinton and supported heavily by Hillary Clinton. Hillary's South Korea deal also cost the United States another 100,000 jobs. And do you remember when Hillary Clinton ran for the Senate in New York? She said she was going to bring back 200,000 jobs to upstate New York. Guess what? More and more and more companies left. They went to Mexico and other places. She did nothing but talk, and that's all she's doing now when she runs for president. She doesn't have the strength. She doesn't have the aptitude. She doesn't have what it takes if we're going to be a great country again. That I can tell you 100%. And you know, when she's over in China, if she goes down in Tiananmen Square, they'll just leave her there. They're tough people. They're just going to leave her there. They're not going to help her up. They'll say, let her come up when she's ready. These are tough people. Since China entered the World Trade Organization, another Bill and Hillary-backed deal. Now listen to this. 70,000 factories. I thought they meant 500, 700, 7,000. 70,000 factories have shut down or left the United States of America. 70,000. That's 15 factories closing a day on average in our country, going to other places. We are living through the greatest jobs theft in the history of the world, and it comes from our country and goes to many others, in particular China, Mexico, Japan, but plenty of others. Companies like Carrier, General Electric, Motorola, Mattel, Fiat, Chrysler, and so many others are moving their jobs to Mexico. And now Ford just announced it's moving all of its small car production to Mexico also. Not good. Not good. And I will tell you this. If I win, when Ford, when Carrier, when these companies announce that they want to leave, fire all of their American workers and go to Mexico, and in the case of Ford, build a $2 million plant, I will tell you what's going to happen. We will tell them, congratulations, enjoy your new plant. But every time you make an air conditioning unit, or a small car, or a big car, or a big truck, and you want to send it into the United States, you're going to have a 35% tax to pay at our now strong border. And they'll never move, folks. They'll never move. And if they do move, that's okay too, because we're going to make a fortune. Now, a lot of politicians aren't smart enough to understand that. And many do understand it, but they're taking care of the companies that are moving. It's corruption. But they will not move, and the ones that do move will pay a big price. But when they hear this, they're not moving. It's very simple. And in Cleveland, right now, and throughout Ohio, you have companies negotiating to move. Some of you work in those companies. And many of the people that work at those companies are here now, and you don't even know the owners and the leaders of the company are negotiating. But with me, you don't have to worry about it, because we will make it economically very difficult for them to leave the United States, believe me. Believe me. So you don't have to worry about it. If I win, day one, we're going to announce our plans to totally renegotiate the worst trade deal ever made, NAFTA. If we don't get what we want in that renegotiation, we will leave NAFTA and start over and get ultimately a much, much better trade deal. We will also stop the Trans-Pacific Partnership, the deal Hillary Clinton lied about during the debate when she called it the gold standard, and during the debate, she never said that. She lied. She lied. And she lied about the line in the sand. Remember, she said, no, I never said that. I wasn't Secretary of State when Obama made that stupid pledge, line in the sand, that he didn't honor. Just like some people didn't honor the pledge to Donald Trump when we all ran for the Republican nomination. There were a few people that did not honor the pledge. I would have honored my pledge, but some people lost so badly they'll never forget it, so I guess they couldn't handle it. We are going to start making things again in America. We are going to have Apple, and many companies like Apple, start making their iPhones and their products in the United States, not in Vietnam and China and every place but here. As part of our plan to bring back our jobs, we're going to lower our business tax from 35% to 15%. Right now, we're the highest in the world. We're going to be one of the lowest. Our businesses are being forced out. We can't let it happen. Wages will rise, jobs will return, and factories will come rushing onto our shore. We're also going to fix our inner cities and help African American and Hispanic Americans who are being treated very, very unfairly. 45% of African American youth live in poverty. 58% of African American youth don't have jobs. More than 3,000 people have been shot in Chicago since January 1st, a very short period of time. It's like a war zone. To those African Americans suffering in our country, where in the inner cities you have no jobs, horrible education, and you oftentimes get shot just walking down the street to buy a loaf of bread. I say this, what the hell do you have to lose? Vote for Donald Trump. I will fix it. I will fix it. True. They've been run by these Democrats like Hillary for over 100 years in some cases, unbroken. I will fight harder for you than anyone has ever fought before. Nobody will fight like I'm going to fight for you. But I'm also going to fight to help millions of Hispanics who are trapped in poverty also. That includes school choice, so important. For every low-income African American and Hispanic child in this nation, disadvantaged children will be able to attend the public-private charter or magnet school of their choice. Here are some of the more amazing things we're going to do for our country starting in 2017. Won't this be nice? You gotta get out and vote. You gotta get out and vote. Ohio's so important. We're going to have the biggest tax cut since Ronald Reagan. We're going to protect our internet system. We're going to defend religious liberty. Protect free speech on college campuses. Rebuild our depleted military and take care of our great veterans that we love and cherish. Repeal and replace the disaster known as Obamacare. We're going to save our Second Amendment, folks. We're going to save it. The National Rifle Association, NRA, gave me the earliest endorsement in their history. We got to save our Second Amendment because they are doing numbers to your Second Amendment that are not good and are very unfair and are not what our founders had in mind. So think about your Second Amendment, so important. We're going to appoint justices to the United States Supreme Court who will uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States. You have 26 days to make every dream you ever dreamed for your country and for your children and for your grandchildren to come true. I honestly believe this is the last chance we'll ever get. Not going to happen again. This is a movement like they have never, ever seen before. The media, the press, is going absolutely crazy. They don't know what to do. They don't know what to do. They don't know what to do. You look at this place, they don't know what to do. On November 8th, the arrogance of Washington, D.C. will come face to face with the righteous verdict of the American voter and the American worker. We are going to replace our failed and incompetent leadership in Washington that has betrayed you, squandered your wealth, and sold out our country and our jobs. It's time for us to embrace the greatness of our country and the greatness of our future. I'm asking all Americans, Republicans, Independents, and even Democrats to join us in our campaign, and that's what's happening, folks. You look at it and you see. You have all over the yards, all over Ohio, and lots of other states. Trump signs, Trump Pence, and by the way, Mike Pence, great guy, great job, a great pick. We're going to give our government back to the American people. I am going to fight for every citizen of every background, from every stretch of this nation. And I am going to fight to bring us all together. We're a divided country right now. All together, as Americans, we're going to love each other. We are not going to be divided for much longer. Imagine what our country could accomplish if we started working together as one people, under one God, saluting one American flag. You are going to look back at this rally for the rest of your life. And by the way, is there any place better to be anywhere in the world or safer to be than a Trump rally? We love each other. You're going to remember this evening. This is a movement like has never been seen in this country before. We're going to make history together. You're going to look back at this election and say this is by far the most important vote that you've ever cast for anyone at any time, because that is when our country started turning around and being great again. A vote for me is a vote for you, and it's a vote for change, which we need. Change. Once again, we are going to have a government of, by, and for the people. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. Thank you. God bless you. God bless you,
A glass of wine in her hand. I knew she was gonna meet nation.